Hello YouTube. Today I am wanting to present my 11th place uh, regional deck profile for Genesys format. It was a lot of fun. I really like the Remote Duel Genesis tournaments that they've been doing. Also, even though 11 plates isn't like the most impressive finish, it's still X2. There's only 6 rounds. Four X2s made it to top 8, so whatever. Um, I still feel like the deck was competent. There's really just a double loss and then me being a little incompetent in one of my games for why I didn't place as high as I would have liked. But overall, I'm really happy with the deck and I wanted to showcase that Blitz Sacred Beast is in fact not dead. Pretty much all my opponents were like, "What? How were you able to make both of these work?" And I'm like, "Well, you just have to cut down on a lot of things that really you didn't need in the first place in terms of points, and just sacrifice a few non-engine things that would be nice to have, but we just don't have the room for." Another reason to play the deck, because a lot of people are like, "Hey, I want your deck profile. I'm really curious for what is you're doing." I really like both those cards. It's cool that you can play both. Reason why the deck works in the first place is all the cute synergies. So let's get right into it, and I'll start talking about what I mean by that. So first thing is the names for Sacred Beast. So you have 3 Haman, 3 Raviel, not that guy, and then 1 Uriah. And where the cute synergy lies with these 3 is all of these cards will add one of the tri-types. So he has monsters, he has spells, and he has the trap. And after adding one of the 3, you have to discard a card. You don't have to discard one of these. You can discard any card. So when you have a card like Alternator in your hand, you can pitch that and then immediately use this to search out whatever Blitz card you need, or maybe you can put something in graveyard and then recur it back because you're going to pop something with a Blitz name. Really cool little synergy there, so you're not actually going neg or like neutral in terms of card advantage with these cards. Because that is kind of the problem with the Sacred Beast stuff. It's like, by themselves, they really aren't great, but when paired with something else, they get really powerful. Um, and in terms of points, originally like these 2 were 0, and now they're 2 a pop. So we have to sacrifice non-engine, but that's fine. I think the engine is still good enough on its own to merit it. 1 of the summoner, and then 3 of the martyr. You don't necessarily like. You kind of just have to play to just set up more 10s freely without relying heavily on the field spell. And that's his purpose, and then this gets you to the continuous spell or the field spell, or the continuous trap, but we don't play that card. That card's bad. And so that's it for the Sacred Beast names. For the spells, we're playing 3 Card of the Soul. A lot of people don't know what this card does. Basically what it does is you reveal a card in your deck or a monster in your deck whose total stats, say this guy, equal 8,000, because that's what your life points would be at the start of the game, and then you get to add 1 from deck to hand. So it basically adds this or Raviel. The only situation where this becomes a dead card is in a grind game where you've taken life point damage or against burn decks, but those aren't common enough, so this card is still like a really good like starter, especially for going first. 3 Sacred Beast release. I am so surprised that they did not point this card. I think this is like really like the crazy card for this engine. It says add 3 Sacred Beasts with different names and then discard 2 cards. No locks, nothing, no points. This card's ridiculous. And then on a future turn, after it's been sent to the graveyard, you can banish it to add a level 10 Pyro, Thunder, or Fiend, which is just crazy follow-up. Next, you have to play 3 of the Thunderclap. It's just a mandatory card, places the other 2 copies, and then you reveal 10 to get the field spell, which we play 2 of. There is argument to cut this down to 1, but I really like 2 for the grind games. Because you're playing the Blitz engine, you rotate through multiple different field spells, so being able to get this back on like future turns for when you go 3 and your opponent hasn't go to game 3 and your opponent hasn't scooped or like in weird grind states, game one, it comes up. Also, it comes up where like your opponent might Vados this, and then you need to get back a second one. It comes up in certain hands, so I really like it, but then going second, you definitely like will side out one of these. And then we play the trap. Here's where more cute synergy things happen. This card says summon a sacred beast from your hand or grave, and then you can, if you control 2 level 10s, you can negate a face-up card and then destroy that card, hence triggering your things like Surge, Crackle, and Rain, or Emmy, I guess. All the Blitz names. It's also how you get into summoning the big fusion guy. Really like this card. Super, super good. Kind of a good reason to play the deck. In addition to, well, they're just fun Sacred Beast cards, and who doesn't love playing fun anime-inspired cards, you know? They're always good when you can play those and play them at a pretty high level. Next we have Surge, the best Blitz name, Grain, the second best Blitz name, 1 Emmy, and this is where our monster ratios get weird, because this one got heavily pointed. Whisker is now 6 points. It went from 0, and honestly, only playing 1 copy didn't miss the other 2. There were a lot of situations in testing the 60 card pile. Oh, shout out to the German guy that won Nats. I got inspiration to play this deck off of him. But in the 60 card variant, there were a lot of hands where, like, if you open up Whisker and just Sacred Beast stuff, and you couldn't get access to your Blitz stuff for whatever reason, he's just kind of a guy that just sits there and doesn't really do anything. You really need access to your Blitz stuff to make him work. So playing a somewhat smaller deck size to see your good Blitz cards, namely these 2, make him better. But opening him is like, okay. I opened him twice today, and he really helps like going second. But in terms of like going first, you don't necessarily need him. He's so searchable. Like, you're fine playing 1 copy of this card, as crazy as he is. This is probably my least favorite card in the deck, is Crackle. I'll be honest, I think this card sucks. He's just a Ghost Ogre for monsters, and sometimes your opponent can just dodge it, and then you are sad because you didn't trigger Crackle the way you wanted to. Or it's just not enough. Against some decks, he doesn't do anything. My opponents will Crackle the Sacred Beast stuff. I'm like, okay. Anyways, I'm gonna continue playing the game. He's just whatever. There are a few situations in weird grind games where dumping the alternator or field spell or whatever can just get you back into the game, and he's good there. But in terms of being a hand trap, I think he's really low quality. I'd side out 1 often for going second or going first in certain situations where I want like better cards to board. Obviously in Pure it's a different case, but because we're mixing so many different things, I think you can really get away with playing probably 1 of this. But I chose to play 2 just because I had 4 extra points. I'm like, I don't really know what else to do with it, but he's fine. It's really Grain and Surge that are actually like getting you to play the Blitz engine and do all the Blitz things. Onto the spells, we play 3 of the field spell. Card's crazy, it's a starter. 3 breakaway. Cute synergy time. This card lets you place the continuous trap, alternator, or return stroke, which is on the side. And then this card, you shuffle a Blitz, and you can add any Thunder. It doesn't have to be a Blitz guy. It doesn't have to be Thunder King Ryo. It can be Haman, and then that's full Sacred Beast combo. So this card, in essence, is all like a 1.5 card combo if you just have another Blitz name to shuffle back and then just get into your Sacred Beast stuff. I think that's really cool. That like both engines are really good at just bridging back and forth into each other and still being able to achieve what they want to a certain degree. And so yeah, that is all of the engine. In terms of like non-engine / utility cards, we're playing 1 Planet Pathfinder. This is how you bridge Sacred Beasts into Blitz. So just to give an extra deck spoiler real quick, we're playing some trains because they're generic 10s. This guy you can make with 2 10s if you don't have your sacred, if you don't have your Blitz stuff, or you don't draw into it or whatever off the field spell. He'll add you an Earth Machine, and then you get an additional normal, so you can just normal this and then off to the races because you can add Hideout. Super, super cool to just way to bridge it. And he's only 3 points, so it's fine. Like, it's not that big of a point investment. I would play one crow. He's searchable because with 2 level 1s, you can make the Leerless guy that adds a winged beast. I don't like playing multiple copies of this card, and honestly, hand traps in Genesys are really bad. Like, they have to be really, really good to fully stop your opponent. Like, for example, I played a Dark Lord guy, great guy, game 2, or in my second round. So shout out to you if you're watching this, but he hand trapped me and it just wasn't enough. I'm still able to make like a pretty decent board, and he hand trapped the right things, but if I just keep having gas, it's not going to be enough. I think breakers are the best approach unless the hand trap is searchable. And because it is searchable, there's no reason not to play this card because it's just another layered onto your end board. So I think just having one is fine, but really this card isn't that good in the first place. There's no reason to play more. Instead, I'd rather play breakers like Pear Bear and Chalice. This card is crazy. Triggers your blitz stuff. Most people don't have it, which I thought was crazy. Every single person I played against either had it in their side or wasn't playing it at all and had to get this explained. So basically what this card does is your opponent can reveal one in their hand or deck, and then both of us will gain life points. If they do not, you get to freely destroy one of their monsters non-targeting. That is super duper broken. The life point gain event also comes up because decks like Blitz that can OTK at around 8,000 now have to find a way to get an additional push if they want to kill you. Otherwise, you just get a turn again, which is huge in this deck because of all the resource recursion that you get with the Sacred Beast stuff, and then the Blitz is like a really good has a really good way to like loop itself as well. And then Chalice is just, it's a good breaker, but it's also kind of in the slot of like Imperm, where it's good going second, but then also good going first because you can just set it. And I think dedicating 3 points of this card was really worth it. It came up quite a lot to help me win some games. And that is the main deck. It is 49 cards. I really couldn't find anything else I wanted that was free or slightly pointed to put in the main. Now with the points update, everything is so tight, and 49 felt like a good ratio. I really don't want to drop below 49 because there are a lot of cards that you really don't want to see. Like, you really don't want to see Combined Assault or the Field Spell or the Continuous Spell or some other things, but in combination, like, everything ends up working out. But I'm sure someone will tech this deck out more, maybe me, maybe someone else, and be able to figure out the right ratio. But 49 for me was perfectly fine. For the extra deck, we're playing one overframe and then one not overframe because I'm a little poor, I guess. The reason we play 2 is not because we can make 2. Honestly, you just have a lot of extra deck space. And I had a buddy before the event who was like, oh yeah, I can just out this with Luna or with Fairy Tale guy that bounces it. And I'm like, okay, well, I'll just play a second copy. And now what? He's like, well, I guess I don't do anything about that. So I really just put the second copy in for no reason other than maybe that one situation would come up. It didn't, but I don't know. The extra deck is so free, you can do whatever you want, but you definitely need to play at least one copy of this guy. This is going to kind of reveal the side deck, but we are playing a Shaddoll package. Ymir Stalker is mainly what you're going to summon, just to kind of reiterate what the German guy did at EU Nats, is with Shaddoll Fusion, with this guy, you just need a Shaddoll name, a Earth, and a Dark. And so you're typically going to send these 3. You could send this if you wanted to like negate a monster on board, which is why we play like App Cologne and Construct, is just to like get over weird things. But ideally it's going to be these 3, and so what you would do is you would send with Shaddoll Fusion the Raviel, the Fiendish Rhino Warrior, and then the Shaddoll Dragon, blow up things, and then Rhino Warrior is going to dump this, and then this is going to, on a new chain, add Raviel to your hand. So Shaddoll Fusion, going second against extra deck foes, becomes a 1-card starter and a breaker at the same time, which is incredible. So really, really like the Shadal package, even though it was pointed by 3 points, and I guess technically 1 because I'm playing the 1 app clone. That really doesn't matter. Just having another starter that's also good at breaking boards is phenomenal. Came up once today just because I lost a lot of die rolls, so I didn't get to game 3 too often, but enough to be able to summon this and then start doing your combo and breaking boards is just super duper impressive. So I really, really recommend this engine. Honestly, you could just flip these two out for another copy of this or any other thing, but again, the extra deck is so free that you can just play this because he's the on-field negate, and she can just beat over things and dump like a dragon or whatever, but it really doesn't matter. So that's all the fusions. On to the train package. So we're playing one of this. Leave is all you need. And then rail, cannon, flame launcher. So as mentioned earlier, this is the bridge from Sacred Beast to Blitz. This is an OTK machine. Your guys are big, but sometimes you need someone even bigger, so he does the job. And he's there to look pretty. You don't need the monster negate. You really, really don't. Now that Gustav maxes 10 points, making him is extra hard. I just couldn't find anything else, but I don't know. This card didn't come up today. This could definitely be cut for something else. I just didn't know what else to put because I didn't have enough time. This is a weird package, and it didn't come up, but in theory it can be good. Sometimes you need extra spot removal, and so you can play the Galaxy Eyes package. So what you can do is using 2 10s, you make Cypher X. He doesn't do anything on the field. I guess make things untargetable, but you don't care about that. You can then overlay this guy on top. He's same stats, and then you can detach 1 to blow up a card on your opponent's field. And then you can do it again by attaching this. In theory, it's just a way to do more spot removal type things with the Sacred Beast stuff. Assuming you get to 10s and assuming your opponent doesn't want to or can't interact with you. Didn't come up at all today, but it's just something worth considering, I guess. And the last package is the level or rank 1 package. So we're playing 1 Recital Starling. This adds DD Crow or any level 1 Winged Beast, Ponix, I guess, but it's DD Crow. Assemble Nightingale. There are situations where you just want to survive a turn and you get 2 level 1s on board, and it just lets you do that. Also against Blitz, it is really tricky for them to out because they out everything via destruction. And this card says can't be destroyed and you take no battle damage. So it guarantees that you live another turn in certain situations. On some Blue Robin, this card came up a few times today where it's a non-once per turn special summon bounce. So you can overlay 2 of your level 1s or all 3 if you really wish, and just have 3 special summon bounces. Pretty good. Not the best end board piece, but it's just another way. If you don't want DD Crow or DD Crow's not good enough, so you side it out, you just make this guy instead going first. And the last card is Promenade Thrust. It's a way to turn your level 1s into MST. So it's just another way at cracking boards. Onto the side deck, we already showed the Diabolica. It just adds a fiend back and can summon herself in situations where you send fiends to the grave and she's there or in hand. Rhino Warrior to dump her, Shadal Dragon, and then Shadal Genius, which is just a monster negate. 3 Shadal Fusion, obviously, to pair with that. The side deck really doesn't matter, by the way. The engine itself is very tricky, because it's so good at going first and going second. So really all these cards are utility cards for very specific matches where I can just side out some bricks or side out some cards that would be suboptimal that I wouldn't want to draw multiples of. And that's really the purpose of this. The side deck could be very subject to change and really whatever you want. Lava Golem, though, is still pretty good. You don't need your normal summon with this deck, and sometimes some monsters are really hard to get over. There's an Elf Note player, so just summoning this and putting in their center just clogs their whole zone and they cry. We are on 2 Twin Twister. Sometimes you just need an extra back row removal push. I was messing around with Hey Trunade. That card's cool. Sometimes you want the discard to discard the alternators, so I feel like in some situations it's a little bit better. Also, it's a go first card, so it could even be in the main in some situations. My original 60 card build did have this in the main. It was okay, but I don't know. I would rather just see this card over Hatred just because it's a quick play, so I can do it whenever. The one return stroke against spell heavy decks, you side this in. There are some games where you don't need to side this in because it is just an additional brick, but its spell negate can be valuable. And the full end board is going to end 10 or 12 interruptions, so just having an extra piece to just guarantee that is nice. The one Saki one of Unbreakable Xyz Barrier. This card could probably be something else. There are a lot of situations where if you get hand trapped, you're not going to end on Xyz. Or in the original 60 card line, you'd end on Varudris, and then if you have this backed up, you have 3 Omni Gates in the form of the Trap, this, and Varudris. In hindsight, this could probably be something like Debunk or maybe Mask of Restrict to just stop your opponent from tributing over your guys. I don't know, but it's okay. It's an Omni. And the last card is just Thunder King Kaiju. It's just a searchable Thunder Kaiju. What more can I say? And yeah, so that was the deck. I really hope you guys enjoy. And also, please give Genesys a shot. The format's super fun. I think the remote dual regional is another really good way to play. It was also just really nice to see all of these YouTubers like MBT and Stevie Blunder that got to play in this in the last remote regional, and because there's so few people, you get the shot at actually meeting them and talking to them, and I think that's really cool and exciting. So I think if you're interested in Genesys, this is a really cool budget deck to pick up that you can do really well with, and hopefully find some success. Anyways, have a good one, y'all.